can actually kind of just go ham straight through him.
And like, you know, with some of the changes to the Morphling hero, the Water Boy doesn't just demolish agi carries anymore. So this is going to be a fun game. I'm really looking forward to what Holy Grail have to offer us. Let us hope and pray, Mr. Lizard, that this goes to a third and decisive game. And Holy Grail, they're trying to make it happen, hoping to find somebody during the smoke move. And they actually ping out exactly where QIQX is, but I'm not sure they'll get there in time.
Let's see.
Morphling. Too far away. Emo's too good, man. Emo's too good.
He sensed it. Oh, well, it's, you know, these smokes are happening every single game, so
yeah,
kind of to be expected. What's gonna... All the wards have been planted. Look at the Radiant wards, by the way. They're really close. Whenever I see wards like that, it just makes me want to draw a smiley face underneath them, you know?
This is, okay, you know, I was saying that maybe they're trusting Dust a lot with this mid lane. Maybe this is them also saying, bro, we trust you, but maybe not enough to let you just solo the lane. We'll give you as much help as we can.
Just make sure that there are no crazy rotations happening towards him, you know, as well. That helps.
All right, so here we go, Liz. We're getting into it. Dust, it's on you, buddy. Gotta show us exactly what you're made of here. He's in through the mid lane. 1v1 versus a Pangolier.
This should be okay for him, right?
Should be fine.
Yeah,
right?
It should be fine. The block wasn't the greatest. Gan, he got it on the high ground, but how do you pronounce? Like Vikov was pronouncing his nickname Gan. Would you do the same or Gan? What would...
Gan is too American. Gan feels right.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna stick with Gan then as well.
So talk to me, which of these lanes should we be expecting to be the bloodbath lane? Where are the most kills likeliest to happen?
I think the lane with the Witch Doctor should be the one, right? Like, this guy is just a crazy-ass laner at the moment. Meanwhile, at the same time, Nyx Assassin doesn't feel like the best damn support in the game, in the laning stage at least. Like, he's kind of the same like he always was. Bot lane, however, yeah, that's... I don't know if Phoenix is out of position. I think that's a kill. But it's way more kind of static on bottom lane. Like, Radiant has 2 mobile spells. Like, you have Waveform and you have Dive, so they probably shouldn't be dying unless they make some serious miscalculations.
I mean, we'll have this Vengeful Spirit's always been one of her issues, like finding aggression and kills early on in the game. And mid, wow. I mean, I thought that Dust was going to do okay here, but doing much better than okay so far. He is working Gan at the moment, like doubling him up in terms of overall CS score. This is not good.
Look, it's a Storm in a melee matchup, right? Like, it's not a simple one to play. Once Pango gets some levels, he'll be able to get the CS easier. So it might change a little bit, but Storm should be the one controlling the lane. Let's put it that way.
See, PYW about to at least feast on another courier. Oh no, we got you baited. This might end up with him being dead. Fortunately, had the wherewithal to get out the stun, TP's out, and not enough damage for the full Maledict. Does force him all the way home though, so how's Zeal gonna deal with this now, having to play one person up against this very aggressive lane up top?
Yeah, well, as long as there are cooldowns, right? Like, the Maledict has a 30-second cooldown, so Nyx assassinate all of that. You as Beastmaster, you should be able to at least get some farm or approach the lane. The problem that I have seen so far... Oh, there we go. Phoenix.
Oh, there's the first blood. All right, it ends up happening. A Selly Hammer into Magic Missile, lots of damage, and Phoenix ends up burning away. Kind of funny that Phoenix ends up dying to burn damage, but, you know, what can you do?
Yeah, it's the dive, right? Like, you don't use it properly, you get punished for it.
He got caught in that classic trap that supports get caught in. Ending up over at the Lotus Pool. I'm gonna help, boys. Oh, snap, it was a trap. I got caught out.
Yeah, it's either like some lanes in which you're baiting a hero to go on it, or some lanes in which no one can really contest each other. So they're just kind of staring at each other next to the Lotus Pools, right? Who's gonna click faster?
Sometimes you click faster, but end up dead regardless. Speaking of deaths, mid lane, although Dust has come low on the HP pool, he's still doing phenomenally in CS. He's outstripping everybody on the map right now. So a overfarm Storm Spirit. What kind of game are we thinking here for him? Are we going old school, some pure Orchid Rush?
I don't think you necessarily need an Orchid Rush in this game. Like, we'll see. He's might...
Oh, okay. He actually might die here. There's a Fairy Fire, staying alive. Blood Grenade from SJ almost ticks him over, but Dust too good. Maybe Jabate had gone in a bit too far. PYW looking for an angle in a couple of seconds. He has the Impale out. Gone, stealing away the rune right now. That'll keep him alive, and they turn back onto PYW. Turns out he came too close to the sun, eats a Maledict, a bunch of right clicks, and he ends up dead. Nice turnaround from Holy Grail.
Very, very nicely done. I actually thought that Gan might die because... Oh, nice fortify.
Oh my gosh, Dust! What a player Gan is. He manages to Jabate Dust back into the lane, ends up bringing him down, and he does it solo. SJ not even there to give support. So that's pure experience for Gan. A double kill, so that's bonus gold. And more importantly, in a game like this, massive amounts of confidence going into the mid game.
100%. Suddenly, he's all 3 cores of Dire are on top. Like, this is a complete different approach to the game. The laning stage is going much, much better for this time around. By the way, commend the Glypher, whoever glyphed it. I guess it was him. Zeal. He's gonna eat the Maledict, but he should be fine. I think he's the one that used the glyph, so Storm couldn't kill off the creeps before he got doven by Pango.
Speaking of dives, there's one that happens bottom onto DQQ. It ends up dead. Might not be the only death in this lane though, because QIQX no longer has access to dive, and Dolem, thinking about chasing him, will get the jump on him and brings him down at the very end. Spins the hammer, gets the kill. 1-1 trade, but yet again, Holy Grail getting a core into a position where he can get some kills.
Yeah, Big Mama with Soul Ring, with 2 bracers, like... Morphling, I love how useless you feel. He's just there, like, kind of, you know, tickling her with the attacks, not really doing any work.
Nothing you can do, man. The Thunder Thighs are too strong. She is just too swole. And, you know, speaking about this Dawnbreaker, her laning matchup has gone so much better than the Beastmasters. Like, Beast has just not been able to really do anything. And we see that reflected in the overall net worth numbers. But to make matters worse, now that he's been left alone a lot by PYW, it feels like Zeal is going to struggle progressing into this game.
Yeah, the biggest issue as well that I see is, even though Nyx Assassin abandoned him, he didn't manage to make a difference anywhere else, right? Like, the mid lane's still kind of lost. So you're rotating mid, you're trying to help out your Storm Spirit, who's still... Like, he was doing well until he suddenly wasn't, until he started dying to the Pango. So your rotations didn't work out in 2 different ways. Unfortunately, it happens sometimes. It's just the way the game works, unfortunately, for position 4s.
Also kind of how the hero functions, right? So if you're not having massive impact, there is this period of the game you can just feel a little bit useless as Nyx Assassin. Zeal, is he surrounded? Yes, he is. DQQ's coming through. There's going to be the Blood Right trigger. Beautiful Impale, though, from PYW. That might set up for a turnaround as Dust also makes his first rotation from the mid lane. They secure a kill onto SJ. DQQ should be next. Pangolier is on the way. Will he arrive in time? He will not. DQQ will end up dead. And unfortunately, this Rolling Thunder might not end up triggering onto Dust. Zips away from the Blood Right. Gone, just going all in. He was hoping to find Zeal behind the tier 1 tower. Sadly, he doesn't. He does have the Swashbuckle, interrupted slightly by the Spike Carapace, but ultimately still able to get himself away.
I'm like, okay, this guy doesn't know where the break is. Like, he was just going in. So I would say a very forced move by Holy Grail, like super forced. The Cask and Maledict. Let's see, maybe again.
They might be able to get gone here, but there's not enough juice here. Unfortunately, a very nice usage of the Swashbuckle in tandem with the Maledict. Not enough damage onto Dust to actually kill him off. But they're just fighting. They even bring Dolem in with a double damage rune. There's enough damage to get this kill. Blood Grenade and 1 thwack will be enough for Dolem to be put on a killing spree.
Can you...
And you're talking about forced moves, but look how many heroes are mid right now for HG.
They're just continuing the same playstyle, which is something that I do like. Can you call him Dolma or Dolme? Because I'm hungry and it reminds me of this amazing dish It's like minced meat wrapped in, it's not cabbage, in wine grape leaves. It's fantastic. If you ever come to
What
Bosnia...
do you call it? Dolme?
Yeah. If you come to Bosnia, you're gonna... I'm taking you to taste some. It's gonna be amazing.
Man. All right, I'm ready. Go to Bosnia for... We'll cast together. We'll cast Dolme while having Dolme.
The best. The combo. By the way,
speaking of combos, look how nice this looks. That's a juicy stack.
Yeah, it's not the greatest one ever, let's be honest. It's kind of above average, but it does the work. It was nice, like Zeal gets some farm, Storm gets some farm. They shared it, which is all that matters. But like overall, I'd like to see Holy Grail just continue pummeling, just continue going together, playing this wild style of Dota with the Maledict.
Well, they're going to need it because mid lane, they're jumping onto Gun here. Does have the Rolling Thunder, and they did not have PYW close enough to lend the Impale. That does also mean that they've blown the cooldown, so this is gone. He's going to have to spend a little bit more time just waiting on that to come back. Afterwards, we could potentially see a smoke, but they might not be done here, Liz. They have an Observer Ward scouting out SJ. And you can see Dust, he's thinking about it. They have the pings going out. They really want to make this jump. SJ playing as safely as he can. Gun comes in, dodges the Impale like a boss, and Dust is going to be the one put under pressure here. They're all going to have to retreat though. Too much burn damage coming in from the Phoenix, and they got what they came for. Down bottom though, DQQ waiting on the regen rune. It was a trap! It was a trap, and Dust walked right into it. Well, DQQ denies the rune, gets the kill, and makes sure that Holy Grail get their person.
Yeah, he actually didn't deny it. Storm did get the rune, but he still had Maledict on him, so he couldn't really get any benefits out of the rune. So he dies having the regen. Very sad. He just miscalculated. Plus, even the Dawnbreaker using ulti just to make sure that they get the Storm. It was a crazy series of events. Like, you kind of think that they will get the Pangolier or maybe a Witch Doctor, and then in the end Storm dies. Just it's a high-octane game, like in comparison to game 1, in which IG was just owning.
So speaking of owning IG, they want to try and make something happen top. Smoke on smoke, they both pop each other's, and Dust comes in with a zip there, really wants to try and find Gon, but there's no way they have the damage to kill him off. He's eaten a Maledict as well as a Death Ward, so he's taking quite a lot of hurt. At the same time, Emo shows up, and with the help of Zeal, they kill off the Bloodseeker. Primal Roar finally does come out onto Gon, holding him in place. We've got 1-for-1 so far. The Storm Spirit got taken out by Dolme, who's also made his way into this fight. All right, bring in one more. DQQ is here as well, so literally everybody is involved in this fray. SJ trying to run away from the Morphling, gets burnt down instead and right-click down into death. And they did end up popping the Supernova, so that should signal the end of the fight as HG finally retreat from the area. Unless they can catch Dolme, nah, Dolme should be okay.
Yeah, he's gotten away, but look at this, Nyx is still on top of him. He knows he's gonna try for the rune.
Let's see, can they do it? Dolme going directly onto QIQX. They're trying to bait him in, and the bait worked.
Storm.
He's now completely drawn on the mana. Storm Spirit zips in, they find the Electric Vortex, and they should be able to find the kill. And no, do they have the damage? They do not. Gon ends up killing QIQX to deny him an additional spell, but PYW ending up getting the kill onto the Dawnbreaker. Dust, in the meantime, has had all his mana removed after this big jump, and now he has no way to escape. They get right-clicked down by this Bloodseeker. Summer collects his tax, and Holy Grail making game 2 an exciting affair here, Liz.
Man, like, maybe you remember a long time ago. Who was it? Was it Misery with Storm Spirit playing mid? Like on TI, when he dies, buys back, goes mid, zips, loses all his mana, dies again. Who was it? Which player? I can't remember. It was super long time ago. TI1, TI2, stuff like that. Anyways, this Dust game reminds me of it. Like, he had a fantastic laning start and then just crumbled. This is terrible now. He's playing into a Pango with the Diffusal almost, I believe, completed. Yeah, it's coming to him. Oh no. Like, this guy's game crumbled, like, I don't know, give me some comparison here. It's quite bad.
Crumbled like biscuits in our hands. It is pretty bad though. This is that, like, in a football match, you're winning 3-0 at halftime, then you lose the game 6-3. You're like, how did this happen? What the hell went wrong?
Yeah, that's
right.
rough. And the way they're playing as well looks so hectic. Like that top fight around the dire jungle, bringing every single hero this early on. You have a Morphling, like he could be chilling farming, right? But he's joining the fight as well. And Dust just going ham. I mean, he's just playing the Storm Spirit way too aggressively this early on.
Unfortunately, not necessarily working out for him and his crew. After this, maybe Emo's gonna be like, I'm playing Storm, buddy. PYW, though, does help out a little bit, stealing away a Wisdom Rune. And given the fact that these supports on Holy Grail have been moving around quite a bit, they are going to be lacking a little bit in that department, unless they can keep the train of killing going, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. They smoke up his 3, heading onto the IG side of the map. No, Dust, no, not again. Okay, whew. He actually breaks up the move. Jake takes away the smoke, and this is going to be a very decent play coming in from IG. Do they want to try and maybe turn around onto this one, potentially, with PYW waiting in the trees?
If they had Vendetta, maybe, but there's no Vendetta, and now he's spotted. I believe he's just dead here.
Uh-oh. PYW trying to get himself out. Will Magic Missile come in time? No, it doesn't, but the swap will be there. And everybody happy to just crash his party. Dome ending up with the kill secured. This Dawnbreaker is also getting suspiciously large here, Liz. 6-1-1 early in the game right now, and she is not that far off from being one of the most farmed heroes in the game.
Yeah, at least they've got some stacks. Like the Morphling is chewing through them at the moment, like getting a lot of farm. Emo is still on top of the network charts, even though he joined a couple of fights. He's still up there. Man, how do you feel about Replicate? It's just like, my God, like the morph, the changes that you are able now to create an ally illusion, just throw back to, when was that the last time? Like 2013? Something like that, 2014, maybe the last time that was a thing. Maybe even earlier, right?
Maybe even, it was, I think even earlier, yeah. Because you had to buy Ags around 2017, 18, right, to get access to your allies. So this is old school. I mean, I guess IceFrog is just not comfortable with the idea of Morphling being a bad hero. So he's like, how can I make sure that no matter what changes I make, the hero is still kind of busted?
Yeah.
Good old water boy.
Good old water boy, make illusion, split the map. More from one side to the other. It's
yeah. Good times, man. Alright, so who do they give this Aegis to? I would like to say they give it to Dust, just to make sure that he doesn't end up dead again in the upcoming engagement.
Yeah, unless Emo is like, bro, you've been feeding way too much your lowest net worth, I'm not giving it to you. And Emo actually cleaned, he actually did remove Quelling Blade from the inventory, so he was ready to take that. In the end, they give it to Dust. And Dust is struggling, like he needs to get back into this game somehow, so yeah, maybe it's for the best.
They might still spring a fight here, though. Holy Grail was sort of posturing with Summer like they were going to go in, but okay, now that they're showing Gone in the mid lane, no way you go and take that fight still. I mean, I guess you can try to go for some tier 2 tower plays, but nah. Don't you miss the old days when the outpost was just right there and you could TP to it? I know the old days were just like 2 weeks ago, but man, that was good.
They go in.
Big zip onto this Bloodseeker. Will Summer end up dead? They swap him out for a little bit of safety, but Dust still wants to keep the fight going. SJ looking like he's going to be the one that gets eaten alive, and indeed he is the first kill, but now they're looking for some revenge. Gone finds an amazing Rolling Thunder, connects onto 2 with the Blood Right as well. They prevent Zeal from throwing out the Primal Row, and then they kill him off. At the same time though, Dust lost all his mana jumping the Bloodseeker, and he ends up dead. The Aegis burnt away so early on. Does create enough space for them to kill off at least the Dawnbreaker. And now on life 2, Dust is going to make his presence known once more, securing a kill onto this young Pangolier, ensuring that the side of Holy Grail lose 4 in that fight. Bloodseeker, the only survivor, and IG can clean up the tier 2 tower as a reward.
That would be your rap name, Young Pango. Dust actually going in again, mid lane.
Oh my god, Dust
gonna...
has no chill, man. Get back, Dust. Summer really wants to chase this, but he knows that there's potentially some backup. But little does he know that Dust was actually all alone. Had he made that full chase and committed, I think they could have killed the Storm Spirit.
It's the Black Dragon. You see a dragon, you run away. That's the... that was the only thing saving Dust there. I feel like if not for the dragon, he could have continued. But yeah, crazy fight on top lane. Yeah, he did lose the Aegis, but it was intended for sure. Like, he wanted to keep them in spot a little bit longer, and he did get a kill off of that. I believe they killed the Pango because of the Aegis being taken down. As Storm, you want to kind of use it in the fight, right? Especially if you're this far behind. As long as it nets you a single kill, I think it's worth it. Overall, the fight, I feel like could have went a little bit better for Holy Grail. Again, he kind of went back with the Rolling Thunder. I felt that he could just go off of the cliff on the left, but because the Rolling Thunder felt amazing, right? He caught Beastmaster, I believe, together with Nyx Assassin.
It's one of those debate moments where sometimes things are going too well in Dota. You make this move, you're like, oh, guys, that looked much cooler than it was supposed to, so let's go make something else happen. And then you're still playing a little bit from behind. They still have an Aegis at the time. They still have Supernova. And then you're like, oh, well, game got harder than it had to. As we have a quick pause, time to take stock of where things are. IG commanding a 6k gold lead. Dust able to come back up in the network department, leapfrogging the Pangolier. And the game overall, the most impressive part for me has been the comeback of Zeal. Zeal, how many times have we seen this with Beastmaster, man? You crush him in the lane, you're feeling good about life, and then as the game scales later and later, he just has obscene amounts of net worth, starting to get all these items, about to finish a BKB, no less.
Yeah, there's like two ways the game goes for Beastmaster. He loses the lane and then he's top of the network charts, or he wins the lane and he stays on the top. Like,
yeah,
doesn't really matter, because as long as he has a couple of stacks, he recovers so fast. The creeps are farming the lane. That's the problem, right? Like, first he can clear the stacks to recover, and second, it's very difficult to take him down. He's constantly pushing the lane. Like, look, even right now, the way he's farming, this is how you should farm.
Oh, bottom! Summer gets jumped on by Dust and PYW. He debates them in with the BKB. His team was moving in with the smoke, and now Dust is completely out of mana. Can they find him? Can they scout him out? Dust! Oh, they got him. He's dead. They ping him out. They know exactly where he's at. And honestly, this is huge because they smoked up 3 heroes for this. If they don't connect on the smoke, suddenly it feels like a huge waste of time. But fortunately for them, Dust zips in at the right moment. Summer has BKB just ready, and that keeps him alive.
Yeah, Dust just doing Dust things. I guess if he's making plays, Morphling isn't necessarily joining fights and he's farming, right? Maybe, like, you can say that. I'm just trying to make Dust feel better at this point, really. But this game has been pretty damn bad for him.
Yeah. I would be surprised if IG give him the Storm Spirit again. But that being said, still a lot of Dota to play. Can still try and recover us into this game. What does he have coming next after this Kaya? So it looks like he's just going to go Kaya Sanj into Hex. Okay. Kind of acceptable. Do you think he needs BKB on the Storm Spirit for this game?
Not necessarily this early on, at least. I feel like if you're buying a BKB this early on, you're just sealing your fate. The game is done. It's way too defensive. You actually need to do some work first, and then you can get it.
Speaking of defensive, look at our boy Bloodseeker. Summer is building a Lincoln Sphere right after his BKB, so he does not want to be roared, does not want to be caught by any of these IG spells. Do you think, is this the right way? Does he not need any more damage at this stage of the game?
I feel like as a Bloodseeker, you're getting a lot just from your passive. And these kind of items also give you a little bit of damage. The Maelstrom is good. Would he like more damage? Sure, but the sustain is where it's at. I like his build.
Okay. Oh, PYW puts his life on the line, gets killed off, almost actually managing to bring down Gun in that situation. Emo is just sort of flexing his muscles, showing how strong he can be. Just a couple of right clicks and an adapter strike. And the Pango felt like he was about to tumble, but very nice move as well to just break up the smoke. Wasn't a smoke, but just like the rotation as they were going to the top lane. I sort of like how Holy Grail, despite the fact that they've, clearly been behind since that top disaster of a fight, they've not allowed the gold lead to get really out of control. They're still managing to scale on all of their cores, even though it's not perfect scaling just yet.
Yeah, even on the supports, the Venge and the Witch Doctor, they're the lowest net worth, sure. But they're getting some farm, they're getting there, right? Like DQQ also has a Solar Crest completed, moving towards, like I love the optimism. The Shard and the Aghanim's queued up. Like, he knows where he's going, He's he's born in the slum, but he's going up there. You know, he's going to be a millionaire one day.
Speaking of millionaires, they might need the millionaire on the team emo to show up bottom to defend against the fight, but Holy Grail, unfortunately for them, they keep running into Dust first. I think if Dust sort of has to zip into them to make the fight easier, otherwise it's just way too easy for them to get away. But he's given the team information. They have a relative idea of where Holy Grail is sitting. So now it's time for IG to smoke up themselves. As per usual, Emo's not involved in this occasion. He's just sitting back and farming. Let's hope that Holy Grail will be able to jump them or are ready for this. Doesn't seem like it here, Lizard. The fight's about to start. Dust doesn't have much vision though. So he doesn't want to zip in blind. He knows exactly what can happen if that is the case. But he finds the Hex directly onto Summer. Summer is going to get popped off. Nice little kill happening there. SJ might end up following. The switcheroo is going to buy a little bit of time, but the time will now come to an end as PYW zaps him and they get that kill. Suddenly, I'm really behind this Lincoln Sphere idea from Summer.
Yeah.
Might have kept him alive in that moment.
Exactly, right? Like he gets the... Maybe the next fight it's going to be better. Because it's really difficult. Phoenix is just doing so much. Just being able to dive in and text you. It's not even only about the roar. All these heroes can initiate. Like the Bloodseeker really benefits from slightly prolonged fights when he isn't the one initiated on, when he can rejoin them. But if you get jumped like that, Hex up, you're just dead.
Oof. QIQX, love the Hex rush. You know, I think there's two schools of thought for these Phoenix players. It's either you're a Hex rusher or you're a Shiva's God rusher. And QIQX picked the right one for this game, definitely.
Yep, I think that's quite true. It's one or the other. At some point there were some Aetherlands and Shard rushes back in the day, but yeah, some of them like to go Veil, Earn. But in any case, I feel like if you're playing a pro game, you're rushing one or the other.
Let's see what they got right now. They get another Blink Dagger on this Beastmaster, so they have yet another source of initiation. But Holy Grail are smoked up, hoping to find something. But guess what? It's PYW here to ruin everything. Gets them right in the place they want to be, removes the smoke, blinks away for good measure, and able to bait out some ultimates here. Rolling Thunder from Garn has been used, does end up connecting onto the Zeal Beastmaster, and they have the damage to kill him even through his BKB. Dust zipped all the way into this fight. He might end up regretting it, but does have a way out of this. So far, they're still thinking about posturing in the area, IG, knowing that's a one-for-one trade, and Emo is finally making his presence known. This Morphling is so gargantuan. As soon as he shows up, the fight is definitely over. And Holy Grail happy to get the Zeal kill, but end up losing both supports for it.
Yeah, one lucky thing for them is Rush isn't respawning very fast. So because of that, IG will not be able to just convert a single fight into taking it. Maybe they still get it if Holy Grail decide to completely bail and just go in a different direction. Which seems like is what they're doing. There's an AC completed on Dawnbreaker.
Damn.
I mean, I would actually like Holy Grail to maybe try and contest this. They should have their ultis, right? By the time Dawnbreaker 40 seconds away with her ult.
Yeah, they definitely should. 10 seconds on Rolling Thunder. Rupture just came back online. The one thing that is a little bit sus is they don't have any vision in this area. Just look how dark their map is overall for Holy Grail. They just don't see anything right now.
Yeah, they just got dewarded because they were trying to set up vision around the Twin Gate, and PYW dewarded all of it. So because of that, I suppose they're just bailing on Rush. That means you're giving away Cheese and Aegis, and you're playing versus Morphling and Storm. Your next team fight has to be perfectly executed if you want to win it.
You know, I'm looking at the double Hex coming out from IG, and I'm wondering who can build Hex on the side of Holy Grail? Because I think they really need some instant initiation, especially into the Storm Spirit. The fact that Dust was allowed to dive that deep all by himself and then still get out, it only gets more difficult with time. So it feels like they need some items to help cover that a little bit.
Who's getting the other Hex? I'm blind.
QIQX bought one and then Storm Spirit. Oh, he changed, okay. He was building the other one, but he changed.
Changed a bit to Lincoln's, I suppose, which is a bit more defensive. Seeing how Dust is playing, he doesn't need the Hex. He needs like a BKB and Lincolns. And maybe Lotus Orb as well to save him. Like, he's very aggressive.
Lotus Orb, somebody on the team must buy like another Lincoln Sphere to put it on him. Refresh the duration. Everything you need to keep Dust alive. Yeah. But we're about to have another fight, chillers. 3 heroes smoked up from IG. Or 4 heroes, actually. Who's the target for this?
PYW.
PYW gets sent up. He's the one that's going to go pop any smoke, see if there's any vision available. The Beastmaster army also coming in. Nice little swap back. QIQX will get immediately jumped, but he gets off the egg right before the blood rite goes off. That's going to be a huge supernova as it bursts. Both supports are already dead, and now they're targeting Khan. They really want to try and find this kill on the Pango, and PYW does manage to get it. Dolem, unfortunately for him, his presence in the fight gets immediately taken out by Emo. And you barely even got to see Summer's Bloodseeker. Barely did any damage there. As soon as the blood rite dropped down, IG collapsed directly onto him. And that just ends the game. GG, well played. Holy Grail, throw in the towel. They don't think they can do it anymore up against this big, bad water boy.
Come on, come on. He was dealing some damage in that last fight. He was hitting the Morphling. He had the shard as well on the Bloodseeker, which gives you, what, like 18%? 1.8%? 1.8%.
1.8, yeah.
So some things have been going on for